Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ignorant Intellectual on Media. Today is our. Um, we got this poster from Amazon, and we've been doing the movies in it. There's 100 movies, top movies that they think are great. We're going through them and telling our opinions on them after watching them. So we've watched 4 so far. We're on the 5th one, which is The Truman Show, which is a 1998. Like, I don't know if you'd consider it a comedy, but kind of like a drama comedy starring Jim Carrey, directed by Peter Weir, the Australian director. The guy, he did, what did he do? Mosquito Coast. I don't know. Have you seen that? It's the last movie I've seen by him was Mosquito Coast, and Dead Poet Society. He did that one as well. But, anyways, I'm not. Out of all these films, that's one I didn't have in my library. I have like 5 or 6 thousand movies on disc, and that's one I didn't have in my library because when I watched it the first time I watched it, man, I didn't think it was all that great. So now I watched it again, and as you get older, you kind of, you know, um, see things differently. Exactly. So, anyway, so the film stars Jim Carrey. It's basically Jim Carrey is in a TV show, like a reality TV show, without knowing that he's in a reality TV show, and everybody that's around him. He lives on an island. He's never been off the island, and everyone around him, his friends, his family, his wife, they're all actors in the TV show, but he doesn't know this, right? So basically, the film goes through him. You get flashbacks, background on him, that he's like the first human being ever owned by a corporation, and that corporation is the TV show. And they brought him up from birth. He was an unwanted baby, so, and then they, do this amazing TV show about him. But the movie is basically him slowly figuring out that what he actually thinks is reality isn't really reality. So, anyways, they go about psychologically manipulating him, and they do a good enough job that he doesn't realize it until he's like around 30 by the time he figures it out. So overall, it's, it makes you question, like, if a corporation could own a human being, isn't that basically slavery, right? So, and if you don't tell them what you're doing, that would be like, I don't know, that's like manipulation on steroids, basically. You know what I mean? It's like, imagine you being in that situation. That's when I first watched it back in the late '90s. I'm going, okay, Hollywood picked up on this. It was like a wave of TV shows, like reality TV shows. They became popular. I think Survivor was the first one that became really popular. But then you had like, Rich Housewives and all these other kind of shows. And I thought maybe, Hollywood thought up an idea of making a TV show, a movie, and I'm going, I don't watch reality TV, so why would I watch a reality movie, right? So, but like I said, so I kind of went in on it with
bias.
a bias. But now that I've watched it, there's some other things that kind of pop in your head, but I think you are going to talk about them. So if you don't, I'll just take the mic back. But what do you think of the film?
I mean, honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be this low on the list because I was expecting it to be a bit higher because that's how great of a movie it is. I do wish that I watched it while I was still in university because I would have written a great paper about it in my philosophy class because it does connect to to the idea of Garden of Eden. Because you see how at the end the director talks about, I created this perfect world for you. So that's like God giving Adam the perfect world for him. And eating the apple is basically like him finding out the reality of like what it is, the outside world. So like yeah, like that was like a really great connection that I made at the end. And I think it's kind of sad. The movie, it's great, but I think it's kind of sad, especially the scene where he was trying to escape like in the ocean and they were really trying to not make him leave. Like they were torturing him. They were sending thunderstorms, like ocean waves and stuff. And I was seeing him as like that little boy. You know, like that's how I looked at him, and he was just like he was scared and he was alone because like no one was really there for him. So yeah, like that was really sad. I don't like it.
That was when he was trying to escape. And Ed Harris plays the director in the film. She was talking about the director in the film, not the actual director of the film, right? So the director of the TV show, right? So yeah, it was kind of strange. Like they almost killed him at the end, but then Ed Harris kind of had an epiphany and said, "Yeah, I think I'm going too far," so he stops it, right? But what I thought at the end was, so he goes through the door at the end, and then all the viewers that have been watching the show since he was a baby or whatever, they're all clapping and they're all super happy, right? Because he's out of the dream or the non-reality. The first thing I thought was, I wonder if they thought about making a sequel where he's actually out in real life, and then he's got to relearn everything that how trustworthy would he think other people are? Is he, because he lived in a perfect world. Ed Harris, the director of the TV show, when he was arguing morality with another character in the show, he was saying, real life sucks. We made a perfect world for him, and he's blessed because of it. He doesn't have to deal with all the evil or whatever, right? So, but now that he's entering the world, the first thing that popped into my head with that would be, he's like the most famous guy on the whole planet, right? Everybody on the whole planet watches the Truman Show, so he's the most famous guy on the whole planet. Now he goes into reality, and now he's around everybody, that are his fans or whatever, right? Imagine, I don't, yeah, or maybe he'll end up becoming like the leader of the world or something. You know what I mean? Like everybody is like knows him, right? So, it's a lot of politics is like what do they call it? Cult of personality, right? So he would have a huge cult of personality around the world. So, anyways, I thought it was a pretty good movie. I still don't know if I would put it on the top 100, but she seems to really like it more than I did. It was pretty good. I think other films, like Jim Carrey is best when he's comedic. He's one of the greatest comedic actors ever to live. You had like Charlie Chaplin in the beginning, then you had like Jerry Lewis, and now you have like Jim Carrey, and I don't know who's going to replace Jim Carrey as that kind of slapstick kind of actor, but he did extremely well. That overacting, but probably, and even this isn't his best. I don't think his best film when it comes to more of a serious role. That would be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is actually on this list. So we'll eventually end up watching it. So, all right. So overall, not too bad. Did we get a coin or no? No coin. All right. So just give me a second. I'll get a coin. All right. So Eternal Sunshine. Oh, no, I'm getting confused now. The Truman Show. Let's see what it looks like underneath. Looks like clouds.
What is that?
That's the escape.
That's the ending. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the exit. That's the exit. He's in the middle of the ocean, and he ends up, hitting a wall that's painted to make it look like the ocean and the sky, and then there's a stairwell there, and he goes up to the door and walks through the door, and that's the end of the film. So
the reality.
So next up after that is Amadeus. Milos Forman, yeah, Mozart. So we'll do a review on that one next. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave me a thumbs up. Think about subscribing, and I will talk to you in my next video. And bye for now, and
Bye.
Bye.